For most of its earliest existence, Bethlehem was a tiny village, and later a borough. The borough status was true from the middle of the 19th century till the beginning of the 20th century. For a long time, it seemed that the leadership of the borough was content being similar in size and importance to places like Catasauqua, Northampton, and Emmaus, and not interested at all in joining the larger communities such as the established cities of Easton and Allentown. But with the building of the Lehigh Valley Railroad, the creation of the Lehigh Canal, and the establishment of a zinc industry, followed by iron and steel, Bethlehem and South Bethlehem found it harder and harder to remain as independent entities. When Charles M. Schwab arrived in South Bethlehem around 1903, he immediately set about building the small steelmaking operation into a major player, able to compete with U.S. Steel. It was his early idea to create a unified city out of the various boroughs which surrounded South Bethlehem. The creation of a city of the third population class would give his growing company a more impressive home base. There were also other numerous benefits for communities that were in this population category. Although met with resistance at first, Schwab kept at it, eventually winning over politicians, business leaders, and other influential citizens who began to see his side of the story. But it really wasn't until World War I concluded that the unification plan moved forward. It's believed that the company's emergence as a powerful, wealthy munitions producer, plus the fervent pride and optimism felt by many after winning the war to end all wars, finally created a groundswell of support for unification. By combining the old borough with West Bethlehem and then eventually South Bethlehem, Northampton Heights, and other small hamlets surrounding Bethlehem to its north, the population went from a 1910 census number of 12,000 to more than 50,000 by 1920. In addition to the need to combine city services, including water and sewer, there were other infrastructure plans which could now be considered as vanity projects. Since the community was optimistic and because the immediate post-war years were prosperous ones, several big-ticket projects were planned, including a major bridge to connect the three sections of the city, a brand new modern Union Station, a modern Central Public High School, and a modern first-class hotel. A magnificent performing arts theater, eventually known as the Boyd Theater, was built, as was a new Catholic high school during this period. And also planned for the future was a major reservoir to serve such a large city, and a municipal center to house all government functions in one complex. The water system had to wait until 1940, and the city center was not completed until 1967. But let's look briefly at a couple of the projects which were completed in the 1920s. As such, all of these iconic structures will soon be celebrating centennials during this decade.
First up, Liberty High School. Liberty High School opened in 1922. To quote a document published by the school district at the time, the opening of the new school represents one of the great achievements of the city of Bethlehem. The cost of the building program was: cost of land, 16 acres, $105,000. Cost of building $1,211,000. Cost of equipment $225,000. Improvement of grounds $93,000. Total cost $1,634,000. The Hotel Bethlehem 1924. In 1921, Bethlehem Steel president Charles Schwab drove the decision to build the new modern fireproof hotel to replace the Eagle Hotel. Cost of land and construction was about $1 million. The hotel is 9 stories tall, originally with 200 rooms, constructed of Bethlehem steel I-beams and reinforced concrete. It was completed in less than 1 year. The building boasts 22-inch thick floors and ceilings. The Union Station 1924. Bethlehem Union Station is a former train station located at the southern end of the Hill-to-Hill Bridge. It was built in 1924 by the Lehigh Valley Railroad and the Reading Company, replacing an earlier station built in 1867. Passenger service to Philadelphia on the SEPTA Regional Rail Bethlehem line lasted until 1981. The station was renovated in 2002 and used for medical clinics beginning in 2003. It is owned by St. Luke's Hospital. The Hill-to-Hill Bridge 1924. Historically, the site of the Hill-to-Hill Bridge was home to a ferry. The first bridge, a small one-lane covered bridge, was completed in September 27, 1794. In 1816, an uncovered bridge was built to replace the original and opened for travel on October 19, 1816. In January of 1841, a flood destroyed the structure. That same year, a new bridge was built at the cost of $7,258 and opened on September 20, 1841. A number of improvements and rebuilds kept the old bridge in use until the early 20th century. By 1921, Bethlehem's old covered bridge was in disrepair and disuse after years of fires and floods and made its viability often in doubt. Additionally, the new corporation of the South Bethlehem with Bethlehem facilitated a need to adequately connect the two parts of the city. The newly formed Bethlehem Bridge Commission hired Rogers and Haggerty Incorporated in the summer of 1921 to construct the bridge. Construction began later that year. The new bridge was completed in 1924 and dedicated on November 1st. Originally, the bridge had several ramps and branches on either side of the Lehigh, but has undergone several updates and changes in the years since. Total approximate cost, $3 million, $44 million in today's dollars. The type is known as spandrel, with reinforced concrete arches. The height of bridge roadway from average water level, 48 feet. Deepest pier sunk, 51 feet below ground level. Longest concrete arch span, 146 lineal feet. Number of arch spans in bridge, 26. Carloads of materials, 216 loads of lumber, 1,940 loads of sand, 314 loads of stone. The concrete was provided by the Pennsylvania Cement Company, BAP location, steel reinforcement by Bethlehem Steel, sand by Morris Black of Bethlehem, PA, and castings by Bethlehem Foundry and Machine Company.